What's up, everyone? Welcome. This is CloudNationTV. Welcoming our guest, Chase. But before, this is a sad day. Day we've seen coming for a while, some of us, but big news.
Most of
But
us.
before this, we're going to go around, see what's up with everyone. Ved, what's up, man?
Supreme Pizza. I mean, I'm eating pizza right now, but other than that, I've just been gaming. I got back into Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I want to say I beat the Fate of Atlantis DLC. That was an amazing DLC that I finally beat. So now I got to move on to the. There's another DLC on Assassin's Creed Odyssey that I'm going to start probably Monday. I will say that for all those that think that I'm soft, go watch the last 2 or 3 Assassin's Creed Odyssey streams, and you will find out that I have not changed. I still hop on a horse, I still take out a sword and slaughter everyone in an entire village, and then go rob and pillage. So nothing there has changed. Yeah. No, I've just been enjoying gaming. I've been trying to tinker with stuff. I got some new overlays. I've got new emotes on my channel for the channel members. And just enjoying gaming until I had to turn off or close out of Discord, shut Twitter off for a while because I couldn't handle. My phone was going to explode with just the ping sound, constant, like nonstop all day. It's been crazy. Yeah, I can drive, Victor. I can totally drive. God.
Well, it's been pretty crazy, but let's go around still to see what's up with everyone. Chase, welcome to our episode of Cloud Nation TV. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you. Good to be back.
How's it going?
Survived a storm. Tomorrow's going to be cleanup day, which I'm not looking forward to. So because it's not safe to be out, I've got a lot of time on my hands for most of today. Real quick before I answer that, I just want to say sending thoughts and positive energy to all those impacted by the hurricane. They're really going to need it. I don't know if any of y'all have seen pictures coming out of Fort Myers, Daytona Beach. It's bad. It's very, very bad. So any good energy you can put into the universe for everyone impacted. Again, it's a sad situation, and they're going to need it. They're really going to need it. As far as playing, I was asked the same question earlier. So Weird West has been kind of my go-to the past couple of weeks. I've really enjoyed that game, continue to enjoy it. And then if I'm not playing that, I know I say it all the time, but I play a lot of multiplayer stuff. So usually Super Animal Royale is something quick to jump into and doesn't take up a lot of time. Yeah, that's it. I don't have anything else. That's all I've been up to.
That's good. That's good. It's happy to see you went through safe through that big hurricane. Good to see you there. What about you, Maker? I also think you were or you are in the trajectory of a hurricane right now.
Usually in Georgia, it's not too bad because we've got the border islands. So usually hurricanes aren't too bad. I went outside today and it was just kind of cloudy. It's not really rainy because I live kind of like midway up Georgia near South Carolina. Okay. So I'm not really seeing effects at the moment. But yeah, if it does come over here and I get some warnings, I'll definitely be looking out.
Yeah, definitely be careful with that. But how you been doing, man? How's the gaming? How's the life and everything?
It's going pretty good. Got back from vacation and I went up to Nashville this past weekend as well, and met some online friends, and so that was fun. I gamed a little bit. Most of my gaming has been World of Warcraft, Wrath of the Lich King Classic, because that was my favorite expansion, and I'm level 73 on my Death Knight, and that's been fun. Kind of nostalgic going back into these old areas. And I've also, while waiting in queue, because there's so many people playing it right now, like it's like 2 to 3 hour queues for a lot of it, with like 14,000 people waiting in line. I would just load up like Slime Rancher too, and I was actually playing a couple hours of that over the past couple of days, and that's pretty fun.
Nice. That's awesome. What about you, Ray?
Man, let me tell you something. I'm addicted. I'm back playing Cyberpunk 2077. I spent 7 hours last night into the early mornings playing on GFN. Loving that game. My wife can't pull me off all the new stuff that they added in there. The game is awesome. I'm doing Nomad. I beat it with Street Kid, so I'm doing Nomad, and then I'm gonna do Corpo, but I'm loving it. I'm also played a free game on GFN called Shatterline. Oh my God, that's you take some Call of Duty, some Rogue Company, fuse it together. Holy crap. I got owned. I don't know who these guys are, but I got owned on the game. And then I've been playing also been doing the FIFA trials on the PlayStation. I can't even talk right now. On the PlayStation 5, I've been doing FIFA 23. It looks great. And on Stadia, let's see, what have I been doing? Just playing a lot of Wreckfest, and I was getting ready to play Hot Wheels today, but some news came up. But I'm doing great, and I'm sending all my love and support to the people out there in Florida, Carolina, all up on that coast, praying for you. And also, damn it, we lost Coolio, Gangsta Paradise, Fantastic Voyage. That
59.
was that was one of my favorite songs back in the day, and it's just sad, but I'm here, and I got Chase. It's in the house.
Awesome. As for myself, well, I've been playing a bit of Fortnite here, and I finally got a good go around with xCloud, and they did their homework. It works now. I'm in Atlantic Canada, which is pretty remote considering where their data servers are. It's like it's always been said that they have less data centers than the other platforms, and that's why some areas it doesn't work as well. I last week you've seen it on here. I've tested it out to check if it ran well, and it greatly improved. There's always been some improvement, but the last one, it was really big. The improvement, no latency at all. So over the weekend, I did a live stream with xCloud, and it was perfect. The experience, it played really well, no latency at all. A tiny bit of pixelation here and there, but not too much, not too often. I'd say like 5 or 6 times, maybe in my whole play session during the evening, I really noticed that it was bad, but it was just for 1 second and it was gone. And it's when there was big dynamic changes on the screen. But other than that, it was really clear, really well shown, and no latency at all. So xCloud really improved. So, and I was one of those who had one of the worst experience with xCloud. So definitely worth revisiting. They've been working on it. So yeah, awesome experience on this. And like many of us today, this morning when I was at work, got a news that Stadia is shutting down. They are January 28th, I believe, that the servers will be going offline.
23rd or 18th. I think January
8th.
18th.
Yeah, 18th. 18th the servers go 18th? Offline. January of 2023 is when they will expect. They say they will have all the refunds completed.
Yep.
So by January 2023, January 31st is when you'll have all the refunds done. Since they just said the month, my guess is they'll have it at the end of the month. Right in time for you to file your taxes.
Portion of the emails. January 18, 2023. So I'll just read that out loud. January 18, 2023, we expect to be able to automatically issue refunds for a substantial portion of the transaction as a credit to the form of payment used to make the purchase. For purchases that we are not able to automatically refund, you will receive an email with details on how to obtain your refund. So if you pay through your credit card and you still have the same credit card, it should get refund on that. If you use some Google Play Store credit or any other form of payment, or you change your credit card, they'll reach out to you and try to figure a way to send you the payment, but you will be refunded for your games. But still, I was not expecting to see that this morning, even though we talked about it a lot on the podcast that it was very probable that we would see that eventually. Still came as a surprise.
Well, some of
so
us
I want
talked about it, not all of us.
to. So yeah, I want to go around see what people have to say about this. But before we do that, I just want to catch up to the chat, see who's here. So we have Nikinu here. Have a good show. I will be asleep a bit of like Stadia all too soon. Thanks Nikinu for coming around. We got
I
Ray.
just got that.
We got Polaris Sucks. What's up? So much awesome in one place. Thanks. Really appreciate it, man. We got Victor. Bye bye, baby. Bye bye. Dino, what's up? Good to see you. Hi, friends.
Maker, are you okay? Do you need a hug? You look sad.
So
Apparently,
apparently Vet can't drive. Still can't drive.
I don't know why people say I can't drive. I clearly am one of the safest drivers in video games. Except for
And Lee,
Christmas.
what's up? Good to see you, man. Lots of hearts. And Amazon Ron is here. What's up, Ron? Good to
Love it.
see you. I'm gonna go, and we got Eddie Player One. What's up, man? Good to see you. Just going around. Yeah, what's good is if you need money, your Stadia stuff is on the block. Yeah, it's gonna be a big payout to a bunch of people. Ashes, hi, eating dinner while lurking right now. No problem, Ashes. Good to see you, man. And we got Kiefer in the chat. What's up, man? Told you so, yeah. I was watching Eddie earlier, but he bailed. And that's good. Awesome. So, yeah, big news today. Stadia is closing down. Now, one thing to know, because they just barely launched a new UI for the platform, they were working on some stuff. It was going to Mexico. They had stuff planned. I actually saw the news that were coming out lately. It's like, maybe I could give Stadia another chance, see what's going on. Because like I believe they were getting Hot Wheel Unleashed as a pro game, which is very well rated game, loved by a lot of people. Still haven't tried it, but I heard so much good stuff about that game. So I actually was thinking of taking another look at Stadia, trying it again, because I haven't played it in forever. And yeah, this came out of nowhere. Employees learn about this apparently like just a few minutes before the announcement. So we're going around. It blindsided a lot of people. Who wants to pick that first? What do you want to say about this? Ray, you want to go?
Damn.
I got Kevin, my best friend, hit me up in my DMs and he said, "Did you see the news that Clyde put out?" So what news? Stadia shutting down. I said, "Yeah, right." And he's like, "No, seriously." And I got really mad. I actually punched the wall. That's how pissed off I was. Because I was pissed. And so then I saw the letter, read it. Still a lot of holes in it because it really doesn't explain a lot. But I mean, I'm got a lot of emotion because there's a lot of people that I met through Stadia. I do Stadia content. I do I play on all these platforms, but Stadia was dear to my heart because I felt it was the underdog. A lot of people used to kick it around, kick it down, put it down. On certain shows, I used to defend Stadia, and it sucks, man. It sucks because a lot of people gave their time, their sweat, their tears, their soul into this platform, defended this platform, invested a lot of money. I can't wait for January because I got some controllers, I got some games. So I looked at the pros and the cons. Okay, all right, well, I'm gonna make some money, but you still can't take away the hours that I spent on Stadia. I spent on, Destiny 2. There's games that I'm actually right now helping out that was supposed to come out on Stadia and is not coming. So this sucks. This really, this sucks. This really sucks. I feel a lot sorry for a lot of people because some people, this is their only platform. Some people out there are casual gamers. They're not like people who game on multiple platforms. This is their platform. Some people don't have certain access to certain platforms and stuff. So I'm pissed. I'm pissed. I'm almost to the point I don't even want an Android phone anymore. That's how pissed I am. I'd be lying.
Join us.
I think I feel sorry for devs that were working on games. I think they got screwed. I feel sorry for the employees. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense that you send out a pro game in the morning. You're sending tweets and stuff. You got one group of people who are clueless that doesn't know what's going on. And then what pisses me off is that you don't hear from a certain person for over 2 years. And then you see him posting a letter.
Hello, motherfucker.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Sorry.
Phil Harrison. Where you been, bro? Where you been, man? Phil, your reputation's not great with these platforms, man. I'm just saying. So, it sucks, but I also want to, I've always been respectful to other gamers and stuff. There's a lot of people getting attacked. I've always like Duncan. I've always defended Duncan. I always thought that he was a cool dude and everything. He said what he had to say. A lot of people had to say what they had to say. And to be honest, it was right, and you gotta eat your, eat humble pie and just move on. So, yeah, I'm pissed. I'm very angry. I'd be lying. I'm angry. It makes me not want to ever buy a Google product. Seriously, and I know a lot of people going to be shocked, but I just got to keep it honest. Got to keep it honest. Yeah, shut up. I just got to be. I got to be honest, man.
Mine's bigger.
And it's
that's
like
what he said.
I mean, I will never when Google came out. I had my credit card. I was so bad. I still think this tech is great. I still think the community is great. I met a lot of people that I would never have met from all over the world. I wouldn't be on this show if it wasn't for Stadia. I think I'll give Stadia even credit for pushing other companies to work on their cloud platforms as well. But you know what, Ron? You shut your ass up. Shut up. The roaches come out, man. I tell you, man, the roaches, when you lift up the rock, man, the roaches all come scattering out. But
Sorry.
Got calm on Facebook. Good to see you, man.
Nah, it was there, not stated. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't, hey, you know what? The jokes can go on, it's
look, that's what it is. I mean, yeah, people are gonna joke. Some may take it a bit too far, Ron. But in all reality, none of us would know anybody if it wasn't for Stadia. Well, I mean, some of you guys might, but I wouldn't have known anybody without Stadia. Without Stadia showing up into the gaming world, I'd be on Facebook gaming doing retro games still.
It just kills me that a company did not back this awesome tech. This tech was awesome. I don't give a fuck what anybody out there says. This tech was great. It just was mismanaged really badly. People did not know in certain branches, didn't know what the hell was going on. It wasn't represented right. And then the writing was on the wall when I said last week, when Duncan and even I have to send a shout out to the Nerf Report. When they put out a report, when you have over 20 games that you have no DLCs for, the games are ported bad and they're broken and nobody's doing anything about it. It's pretty sad. So yeah, so the next platform or whatever comes out, I'm not going to be a founder. I'm not going to jump on. I'm going to have to wait 6 to a year to see, maybe longer than that. It's taught me a lesson, but it will never, ever, ever change how I feel about the people that I met and the things that I've done. So I'm gonna leave it at that. But go ahead, guys.
Just gonna catch up to the chat a little bit because there was a lot of great comments in there. Ashton said, what kind of sucks is you can't use Pro if you weren't sub as of today. So if you were a sub, you can use it for no charge from now on until January, but for some reasons, no one else. So yeah, like I was thinking about giving it another try.
I'm out
Now I
too.
can't get Pro. I'm stuck with 1080p if I want to try it, and I have no access to all of my Pro game libraries. So because I wasn't Pro, but I was thinking about giving it another try. That's gone now. So Stadia Pro for me is over. It's not going to happen again. And for a bunch of us here, won't subscribe. Victor said, I'm going to have to give up 210 games, but I generally just play Destiny 2 on Stadia, 3,000 plus hours.
Damn.
It's great to have a regular game, but yeah, it's still variety. If you wanted to go explore something else, you had a full library, it's gone. That's really sad. What's
I
up,
don't want to know how
Ludiverse?
many
Good to
hours I
see you,
put.
man. Oh, man. Really awful to see the store offline after being used to it being a part of this whole cloud gaming thing. They shut down the store. I went to see it. It's
Oh yeah, they immediately shut that down. The only thing you can do if you go to the store page is you get to see a thing that says store shut down, and you can see all your games that you own. That's it. I mean, that you temporarily own.
just like in the comic behind Chase, like just flick their fingers and it's gone, disappeared.
Damn.
So
Damn.
So yeah, Victor said we need to hold a proper wake up and funeral for Stadia. Yeah, it's going to be a grieving time for a lot of people because there's a lot of people. Some in the chat, some in the
Got an
panel.
event this
whom Stadia
weekend.
was really significant.
Well, there were a lot of people, and I God damn it.
Remember when Ray fell asleep on stream while playing
my-
Stadia?
I thought it was like Luna.
Who the fuck put that in there?
I don't know what ass would put something like that in there. God, what a jerk!
Was on Stadia. There was some very
must have
good
been Lee.
game on Stadia.
No, Lee actually, CGD Simulation, Lee actually had a really good comment here. He said, if Stadia execs had half the passion and commitment that Stadia content creators and the Stadia community had, it would still be alive today. And I agree. I totally agree with that.
It wasn't. A lot of people have the opinion it was mismanaged. I have that opinion. But it's hard to put yourself in the shoes of that person if you're not there. So
yeah.
Well, I had to deal with Google as well, which is yeah.
There was a significant communication issue. Like there is constant like missing stuff on their twos and getting stuff wrong on it. It just felt like extremely mismanaged from the beginning.
What the fuck? Bro, come on, man. Be respectful.
That wasn't me.
I know who it was. I know who it was.
Bad,
I know who it was.
Okay,
I know who it was.
I swear.
One thing I will say, so it looks like we're not getting those 100 games this year, right?
Damn, I was
100 games.
Thank you. Finally, Maker. I've been wondering where you were at. I was
right
going to come downstairs and give you a hug because I thought you were really upset.
Chase, what is that slogan that you were talking about? Play the biggest games that you own. Shit, we never really owned the damn games, man. What if I don't want to refund the damn games, man, that I supposedly have been owned?
No, I mean what? Oh, okay. All right. I thought I had my mic.
We never owned it. We didn't own. We didn't look. One of the biggest debates is that we own the games. Technically, I guess when you have to force and do a refund, you don't own. So the Cyberpunk, I mean, I guess I'm gonna get the money back. I ain't got nothing yet, so I got to see what the hell is going to happen with that.
I don't know how they're going to do that. I don't even know what cards I used when I'm buying the $2,500 worth of games that I bought and add-ons and hardware.
Who said cards?
Before we go on with this, though, I just want to say a proper welcome to Eddie because he kind of arrived mid intervention. So what's up, Eddie?
It's gonna be in Google Play credit.
Nah,
it's not even Google Play credit.
Nah.
Can I get it in Apple? Can I get an Apple money card or something? Anything?
I actually, you know what, DrSpaceman? I don't know what email you got, but my email is like 4 paragraphs long. I wish.
Oh yeah, that's just a segment. It's just a very important segment. I thought was good to show. So any purchases you've done, if it was through a credit card, it's going to be refunded to that same credit card. And if that credit card is no longer valid or they're not able to process it, they'll send you an email for the rest of the refund,
I-
and figure out a way with you to do the refund.
I do want to also clarify. They are not refunding Pro. So if you any amount that you spend on Pro,
Oh, I scrapped that out. I deducted that out of mine. I don't even like doing math, but I took that out and I still spent over $2,500. And then my wife overheard me saying that out loud and then said, "Oh, really now?" And then I was like, "Fuck, there goes that money."
So
That is something I feel like a portion, because a large part of Pro was the games. Like you're paying for the 4K and the like surround sound and all that.
Victor
But
said on the
the
chat
ma-
that he had over 200 games, about 220 games, because he has been a pro since day one, continues to claim the games.
Yeah,
Rock, what's going on, buddy?
Man, 200
Good night, my
games
friend.
that you... I know it's a lot of those 200 games. Yes, there are some games over there that are not that good, but just having the ability to click and play those games at any time that you wanted, that was cool. And now they're taking that away from you, but F
Yeah,
you.
but what about the let's see, Doom Eternal, Cyberpunk. There's a lot of
Ray, we are not discussing the quality of the games on Stadia. Stadia had some quality games in 2021.
right. Now I'm not talking about the quality of the game. I'm talking about the damn price they owe me for them damn games. That's what I'm. That's what I'm talking. I wasn't talking about the quality, man. I'm talking about that's what I paid.
Hey,
Wait.
No, don't worry. You're gonna get those 60 back.
hey,
for
doctor.
sure.
Something that Ray was just talking about. Can I just share my screen real quick?
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
please show this. Please show this.
So let me show you what I've been kind of like talking about for a little while. Of one of the things that was frustrating was this right here.
Damn.
This is as of the day that we're still talking about this, that the platform is being, it's the announcement's happening that it's ceasing operations, right?
That's still live.
This is still their marketing slogan, and it's not necessarily accurate. And this is what I was going to say real quick, and then I'm going to just take a step back because I know I've talked about it a lot today, but I think this platform from the beginning, and Eddie and I did a show for many, many months and years, if you want to look at it from that perspective as well. But we both kind of said the same thing on this, and I don't want to completely speak for Eddie because I want to make sure he has the ability to say how he feels on it as well. But like the communication and marketing around this platform was not good from the beginning. Like if there's a failure of Stadia, it's not the games, it's not even the titles necessarily. And you can look at it from what's successful and what's not successful. There's platforms out there right now that are successful by their metrics. It may not be billions of users, it might be millions or even hundreds of thousands, but to them that's still successful. They could be successful or could have been successful if they had set clear expectations with customers. That's the problem. Like from the moment that they pivoted from Stadia Games and Entertainment, we didn't hear from them once. And I'm not talking about UI improvements or expansion or any of that stuff. We didn't hear from them once about what they thought the vision of Stadia was going to be going forward after they did that pivot. And then this is still up here, and it's not necessarily completely accurate. You're not getting all of the day and date games from the platform. Go ahead, Eddie, jump in.
We didn't heard about them because they were not sure. That's it.
Not sure about what?
What they would do it. Would they try to go... We know that they had Ubisoft, but would they try to go to get, I don't know, partnership with Microsoft or something?
Yeah.
To bring those games there? They were trying different things, and that didn't happen. That's why we never heard about them.
But you still have to say something to customers, though. I mean, that's my point, is you can't leave people out in the dark not knowing what is or isn't happening, and especially with this type of advertising.
You not tell the bad stuff, you tell the good stuff, which is these are the games that we have coming. That's what we're going to continue telling you.
That's fine, but again, I mean, I agree where you're coming from on it, Eddie, but at the same time, you can't be putting a statement out like this. Again, from a marketing PR standpoint, if you're going to tell people you're getting every brand new day and date game, you better deliver on that. And if you're not, then you need to change your marketing. Like this is the whole thing around this was communication and marketing from the beginning. That's the downfall of this platform. Period. End of story for me. And
just
you also need to have.
Sorry, Chase. I just double check it. Hitman released on January 20, 2021. release a day and date on Stadia and a bunch of platforms, including that ad that you showed. It was on Hitman release. So that was January 20. 11 days later, February 1st was the first Stadia apocalypse.
Right. Yeah, but it just goes back to the fact that, again, the games, let me just be clear on something. If you're going to be a big player and you want to be a big player, content is king. Like, if that was whatever their vision was, that is, they had to have had the content. But if they wanted to be at least successful, whatever that definition is for them, you needed to be able to communicate and market better. And they did not do that throughout the entire life cycle of this platform, even up through to today. And that's where I stand on this. You know, it's a sad day. Me and Ray were talking about this earlier. This is not a positive for anybody. Nobody wins in this scenario. Google doesn't win. Consumers don't win, and their partnerships and their, with the developers and publishers, they don't win. Nobody wins in this scenario, and it's one less competitor in the market, which is not good. So this is not a great day for anybody. It's not a "I told you so" moment for me. It's more of a, it's sad that they couldn't get their act together and make this work. And we're at the place that we're at today. It sucks.
Yeah, because I don't know if we were live when we was talking about that, or if it was before. I think we were live, but I was actually looking at giving Stadia another try because they had a brand new UI. They were getting some interesting game, like the Hot Wheel game, which is very well reviewed. Lots of good comment about it. There was some things that were looking interesting about Stadia in the future. New expansion, new country. The employees thought they were still on the safe track, that Stadia was still going to run for a while, and that came out of nowhere. So it's really sad. And I just wanted to answer a comment from Calm over on Facebook, asking, would they refund what you paid or the game current data value? From my understanding, it's what you paid on the moment of the transaction. If you go into your settings, you'll actually see everything you paid, like all the games and everything. And from my understanding, it will be that value that you'll be getting back without the subscription.
Plus whatever you purchase on hardware on the Google Play Store.
Yeah, as well, yes.
Or I said Google Play Store and I meant Google Store.
Yeah, the Google Store, yeah. So it's a big news to take in. So there's people that are happy about it, that already moved on, that's going to be putting money back in their pocket. That's a plus, a silver lining into this. Plus, I've seen in the comment a bunch of people saying, like, all the friends we've made through this platform, like all of you guys, without Stadia, I wouldn't know you. I've made a lot of great friends with that platform. This I'm very thankful about. It's been a fun ride, and there's still other cloud platforms out there. Cloud platforms that are doing better and better. Like I mentioned, last week I did a stream about xCloud. I tested a whole bunch of games, tried to test different type of game that would come out different, like more action, more shooters, more visual games, like a Ni no Kuni with a lot of bright colors. And it was working well across the board. Still a few glitches here and there, but no latency at all, very little pixelation, and it was really working well. Some cloud platforms are now doing real well. There's Boosteroid as well. GFN is in a very good place. PlayStation, they have some of the stuff figured out already that's working well. Some of the stuff they need to figure it out. They need to release on more platform, but there's other cloud platform if what you want to do is stay in the cloud. Plus, there's the hardware. There's a lot of different venues for gaming. Stadia was one platform. It is sad, though, that we have to say goodbye to that platform, though. Just trying to catch up to the chat. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it?
It sucks. Like, honestly, I enjoyed my time with Stadia, and I think there was a huge potential with the platform. You know, it runs great, and I don't have an issue tech wise. It's really about like games, communication, advertising. There's a lot of things that they just kind of like tripped over themselves a lot. Like to me, it's been kind of a downhill since the beginning. You know, you had like Phil Harrison and had a bunch of like major publishers on the back saying, "Hey, we got games coming from all these publishers," and then we saw slowly those publishers leave. You know, 2K, Square Enix, you know, a lot of EA titles left. And that was when SG&E closed and we started to see those contracts expire. To me, I wanted to see what are they going to do to reinvigorate it now that they're leaving. Like, are you going to shift and advertise as an indie platform where you can get all the best indies on? Like, and that's what they really need to market. Sell it to the consumer why we should be using Stadia rather than like Game Pass or GFN or all these other different services that are out now already.
Well,
and
the part that failed, it was exactly the silver line was exactly what Chase showed on the devices that you already have. That the part number one they were selling. You don't need to get a new device. That was a great speech, especially when you could not get a PlayStation 5, you could not get a Series X or a Series S. Perfect speech. But the part of the content is what it was the issue. 3 years later now, although it's not easy to go and find a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox, it's a little bit easier than it was 2 years ago. But if you buy those games, you know the content's there. Next month, basically next month, we have new God of War coming on PlayStation 5. You know, Stadia. Right now, you don't have anything coming. Right, like well, even before today, with the delay of Skull and Bones, what were you expecting to Stadia before the end of the year?
So that's what I was going to say.
Indie games.
I was about to purchase FIFA 23 this morning. I'm glad I didn't.
Boy, that's you talking about FIFA.
How many people get the refund?
Fuck.
Yeah, you would have gotten your refund in a few months.
No, I would have got it like later.
But that's the thing. That's the thing is you had all those people that bought that FIFA, for example. All of those people that bought that on Stadia on the 27th for that early access, $90 or whatever it costs, you know, wherever you live. And then 2 days later, hey, guess what? We're shutting down. Sorry about that.
That's why I punched the wall because I was getting.
Can you see the hole in the wall?
No, you can't see the hole in the wall. I'll be glad.
Did your wife kill you yet?
No. But I'm like, damn, and I'm like, damn, like this was planned. This wasn't planned like yesterday. This has been in the making for a while, and I swear to God, man, I feel like
wasn't there a rumor that spread around social media back in July that somebody said, or June or July of this year, that somebody said Stadia was going to be getting shut down at some point this year, or by the end of the year they would be shut down? Oh, go ahead.
Lee's comment I've got highlighted right now. We felt that.
Well, first of all,
everybody did.
There's two people here. There's the Google and there's the Stadia.
Yes,
so who like I don't know who like Google like Stadia was your baby and you pretty much gave up on it.
Damn.
I don't know.
That's a bad analogy.
I mean, there's people that work at Stadia that did not know. They're posting shit and didn't know. There's devs that I'm talking to that had handshakes or verbal agreements or whatever making games that did not know until this morning. And that's kind of fucked.
Sloppy.
That's fucked, man. That's I mean, why you do that?
That's Eddie's screen.
Why you do that? Why you do that?
By the way, look at the date.
Wait a minute. Is that 47? You talking about Agent 47?
47. Yeah.
Agent 47. Oh man.
February 1st, 2021.
So
by Jeff Grubb.
I wanted to add something into what Vet was just talking about. So yeah, there was a rumor that was going around, but I don't think that's I don't know how valid that is or isn't. I think where it came from, and I don't have the exact date, so just forgive me for kind of talking in a general statement, but I think in June or July, Google talked about they were going to start cutting different products and services because of the pandemic, cost overruns, and a couple other factors. And one of the things that they also did is they asked Google employees to give feedback about where they believe the vision of Google as a company should go in the future. And I think that was back in June and July. So that's where, like what Ray was just saying about this just didn't happen overnight. There's no way that it did. You know, like as a company, it's understandable that they didn't let the employees that work at Stadia know until today. Like you have to continue as business as usual for them. You know, that would be a bad look. But to not, this kind of goes back to the EVGA and NVIDIA situation, to not include the highest level of people at your partnership level or your contracts with the companies that you work with, publishers and developers at that level, and not give them a heads up to already have things prepared so when the news came out, they could then give it to their employees, is not a good look. You know, that's why EVGA is so mad at NVIDIA from the communication standpoint, undercutting them from a business standpoint. You don't succeed, and I'm not talking about from the
I want to put this in the chat, guys. I want you to take
go
a
ahead.
look at this. This is what I was telling you, Chase. Okay. This was July 22 this year.
Okay. From a just real quick, from a business to business enterprise standpoint, Google's going to be fine. They're going to make their money, but they've been trying to get into the consumer side, and that's the part where they're going to struggle based off of how this stuff is going. People aren't going to trust them, you know, from a company standpoint. They're not going to trust them when this is how business is being done. So, my fault, Ray. Though, sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tom. Sorry.
No, I'm done. I didn't mean to. I just wanted to throw that in there for what you were saying.
I'm sitting here like direct like it's in there, doctor.
Yep. Won't be long. So this
Damn.
Google Stadia is finally launching in Mexico later this year, July 1st.
Was that always in any shape or form officialized by Google?
That was a video. There is a video of them in Mexico
by a Google employee.
Video.
Or...
Those are. If you see, click on that video right there, where it says Google for Mexico. That was an event in Mexico with all these people.
And what are they doing?
Talking about Google, what they were going to do, and
well, that looked like Google Earth.
All right, I'm gonna be listening to that in a second. I'll be right back because I speak Spanish. I want to understand what they were talking here. If they were talking in Spanish, if there's anything related to Stadia.
But was there any
Sounds good,
official announcement? Like, was there like a blog post talking about the expansion?
Nope.
Or at
Not that I'm
least,
aware of.
or at least an employee
Google
saying
said
something officially.
Google said in its presentation that Mexico has more than 72 million gamers who usually play on their computers, their phones, and even game consoles. To see Stadia launch in a new location after this long is a clear sign that it is still investing in the service, and that's reassuring. Mexico will make for the 23rd country to get Google's cloud gaming platform. While no specific date was given, it's clear that there are many who are excited about this. Are you among them?
Come on,
That's
the most generic statement I've ever heard.
Whatever you just read,
Jesus.
Right.
Whatever you just read, that's the word of a journalist.
I know, but they had people. If you look at the video,
I'm gonna watch the video.
Look at the video.
Oh, I understand that
those wasn't Stadia. Those wasn't Stadia people. Those are Google people.
No, but
but was any official?
Did you have anybody from Stadia, any communication, not Google, but from Stadia to confirm any of that? Or was it silence and just Google saying, hey, look what we're doing? Because all I saw in that video was Google Earth and other Google products. Google can say whatever. A journalist can say, that means, look, Google was down there. That must mean Stadia is coming. Any journalist can say that. But if Stadia is not making...
Cloud and Google Stadia were coming.
Bro, they had games that had Mexico on it.
It
when they had all the countries, they had
was it FIFA 22 or FIFA 23?
They had Mexico on it. Then they took it off.
Has
Are you
somebody
talking about like on
filled
the rating
I'm
board?
just- when they show the games and they show the list of countries, there was games that I actually saw Mexico when they do Hungary,
Stadia
Romania.
Damn.
But I would say like even with the expansion, to me, for them to take almost 2 years to have their next expansion, that's like when you have stuff like Xbox expanding in like 2 to 3 countries per year. It's
well. What about? Yeah, but you can then if you're going to use that. Well, it took them 2 years and they still never expanded. We could say the same thing about Luna. How long's Luna been alive and they still haven't left the United States? So I mean, I get it, but that's one example that you could shoot down and be like, well, Luna hasn't expanded either. Does that mean that they're going to be the next one to get the axe?
And if you want another respect, it was in Forbes. I can pull that article.
I don't respect Forbes.
Yeah, but that's still a journalist. That's not anyone official from Google.
It could be.
That's for them fancy pants rich people. I can't afford that magazine.
I could be incorrect on this. I think I had remembered seeing don't quote me on this because it might have actually been from a media article instead, but I thought I remember seeing the official Stadia Twitter account send something out about that, but I could be wrong. Yeah.
I mean, it don't matter regardless because he ain't expanding nowhere.
No.
So it doesn't.
No,
I mean,
Ashes. I'm not knocking Luna, but I'm not knocking Luna about it. But I'm just using that as an example to use that. Say, well, it took Stadia 2 years to say, and they still never committed to expansion. Luna's under the same problem. I don't expect Luna's not. I don't see them scrapping that whole program. But
just reading dismal comments with Stadia.
Tell me about it.
Over 2021, got my divorce settlement wrapped up today. Payout in January. Winning. Wow. Colin said, remember when Stadia reveal show was starting and Google admin comes out and says, I'm not a gamer?
Ain't that the truth? We see.
I remember that.
To me, I saw the decline as soon as Ubisoft titles stopped coming day and date. When Roller Champions stopped, and then this announcement for Mirage and
shut up, Chris.
There.
Shut up.
There was
nonsense
combined with let's say Chaka. She accepted multiple new roles like on top of what her current job was. To me, it just felt like they were reducing costs, they were cutting back, and then like even Duncan posted the declining job listings for Stadia. It just everything was pointing in the negative, and I saw something coming, but I thought it was going to be more of like a merger with something else, like the Google Play Store, or
that would make too much sense. That come on, Maker. That would make way too much sense for them to do something like that.
Just
phased out. Yep.
No, sorry. I just want to share quickly. I know the subject changed, but the Mexico video, it's a pitch sales from Google Mexico presenting a bunch of products from Google in Mexico. And in part of the video, like it's a 1 hour and 7 minutes video, in like 2 minutes, the guy does a pitch sale presenting Stadia, and he says, it's a Google rep. He says, we'll be launching Stadia later this year and beware for more communications to come. That's exactly the final words. So yes, it was officially planned, officially communicated in Mexico that Stadia was going to be launching there before the end of the year, and the rest is history.
Thank you.
All right, I'm sorry, Ray.
No, you got. I'm not.
I
like I said,
I apologize for not listening.
I'm not
being
here,
myself.
At the end of the day, it really don't mean shit because it ain't going nowhere. So it don't mean shit.
I know, but still.
Yeah, it just because was really iffy. You know, there's no solid date, and to me, I just felt like if they're going to expand, they needed to expand sooner. There's a lot of missed.
Meg had a point there about the writing was on the wall when they said they were focusing on business partnerships versus consumer. But the problem with that was though that people still refused to acknowledge it. There were a lot of people that still had their blinders up to refuse and just say that that's all fake news.
I acknowledge it and then I quit, but there were a lot of people very passionate. The moment that I quit, it's because sorry, I'm taking the whole microphone. I'm gonna shut up.
No, you keep talking. You're allowed. Go ahead.
That's how we roll here. We're free conversation.
Yeah, we don't follow rules.
It's kind of. I felt like, all right, this is happening. I swear, my initial thought when the SG&E thing happened was they're gonna be refunding, and I am not gonna get a lot of refunds because I do have a bunch of games I purchased, but I ended up getting a few codes for review from some companies. So I imagine those games are not getting refunded, and that's exactly what happened. But either way, I'm happy with the refunds I'm getting. But at that moment, on February 1st, I imagine already refunds are going to happen if the platform shuts down. Did I had an impression that the platform was shutting down this year? Zero. I work in the industry. My coworkers were like as surprised as I. But I was expecting that maybe it would last maybe 5 years, 6 years.
So we're not playing. What was it? What's that game? Death Island 2.
No, that's not coming. Skull and Bones isn't coming.
But I invested in the Kickstarter. It better come to the platform. Damn it!
You're not getting the money back for that Kickstarter. I'm doing it right now.
Sky Climbers, right?
Yeah.
Am I getting my money back on?
Are they launching somewhere else?
Is Kickstarter going to give me my money back?
Yeah, they're launching in other places.
Oh, okay, good.
Somebody just said a moment ago. Oh, go ahead, Doctor. I'll hold.
I was just going to say, well, actually, it might be a bit long what I'm going to say, but I want to start off with what Ashes is saying here. Could go even earlier. I could say the writing was on the wall during the first demo before launch, and the CEO started the show with, "I'm not much of a gamer." That was writing on the wall, yes, but it still convinced me when he said that because he followed up. He had a good follow-up to that. When they announced Stadia, he said he's not a gamer. But he also said that that's why they were getting people on board, and that's when he introduced that Jade Raymond was going to be the lead of SG&E, and that he was getting some people on board who were in the industry for years and knew what they were doing, and that Google would not intervene in how Stadia was handled. They would be like Stadia would be its own entity within the company, but like Google Stadia would answer to Stadia, and Google would give them money because they saw the potential for making a lot of money with Stadia. So it was just going to be Stadia its own thing. It's going to be self-managed, and Google would just be supporting it with funds to start, and eventually like Stadia would be self-sufficient.
And now I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. Satya Nadella said, all right, Phil Harris, here's your money. By February or by January 2021, you got to get at least 1 million active Stadia Pro members.
It's
That's
not
your
even
KPI.
that.
And that did that happen, all right? We're cutting down your money, and that's it.
What happens much earlier than that? They launched, and I've said so many times on this podcast, that's what ruined Stadia. They launched a platform pre-release for everyone who got the the Midnight Blue controller. Started playing. It was everything was perfect still at that moment, but then COVID-19 hit, and what Google did, Google was in panic mode. Stadia, SG&E, Studio Games and Entertainment, the development studio, had 150 employees at that moment. They already announced within less than a year, they want to ramp this up to 3,000 employees. That's the SG&E studio. We're not even talking about the Stadia in-house support, just the development studio for the game. The moment the warnings were out for COVID-19, Google said, okay, we're stopping all hiring for every single department within Google, except for 4 departments that kept hiring because they needed those for rapid operations so that Google could adapt to the situation with everything going on with COVID-19. And over time, as month went on, and that, okay, we started to know how to manage COVID and operations was coming back, they gave the green light to a bunch of departments to start hiring again and get back into business. Stadia Games and Entertainment never, ever got that green light. They were still waiting at 150 employees while they were promised to be within a year at 3,000 employees. They had head of departments doing the dirty work on the floor, like jobs that you would normally give the interns that are coming in, like doing like all the coding and everything. It was people who were promised to be head of departments that was doing that. No wonder people were pissed off and they shut down SG&E. They were not doing the job they were promised they would be doing. They were not given the responsibilities they weren't supposed to get. So yeah, Raymond shopped around, got a contract with PlayStation, and decided to open her own studio, and she left. And it was the end of SG&E, and the writing was on a wall from there.
I mean, it just looked like Google didn't want to invest. Like being in the game industry is a risky business. You're trying to predict what gamers want, and it's difficult to do. I mean, just look at Microsoft with Xbox. They've struggled a lot over the years, and I think Google knew what they were best at, and that's business partnerships. And that's why I think that they shifted. You know, when SG&E closed, they said, "Hey, let's try and sell it off to like these companies. Maybe we can make some money off of that, and it's probably going to be a bit more profitable." And I think they'll still try to sell off that tech and try to lease. Lease.
Well, they already said what they're going to. They already said they're going to use the tech in their other products, like YouTube and Google AR, or their augmented reality technology, and
every company does that though. Like
hopefully nothing that they plan on killing off again.
Somebody please clip this for the future.
Do it.
Stadia will be back, branded YouTube Gaming. That's it.
I think Google wanted to do so.
Flipped it.
I think they wanted to get into the entertainment space that everybody else is getting into, and they realized they can't compete as far as at a consumer level. And they're now saying we're just going to shift to be a business to business offering. We'll license the tech and let third parties figure out how they're going to make it work. In regards to the metaverse and entertainment ecosystems, they want no part of it. It's too much money for them. I did want to go back to something. I think Vet said it or Ray said it, and forgive me whoever said it, but someone brought up the fact that the SG&E closure that people were kind of arguing about it. Ashes is here in the chat, and the only reason I'm bringing Ashes up is because he has a little bit more experience, as far as like probably a decade or two more experience than I do when it comes to the marketing and public relations space. But I can tell you, I know what he told me when we talked about this back at that time. Eddie was there, so Eddie can speak to this as well. But not everyone is going to understand how some of these statements are written out, and I'm not saying it as a negative. I'm just saying unless you have experience in that space and you've seen it happen and you understand who the target audience is, why you're writing what you're writing, what the true message is and the intent is. Some of these things don't make sense. And when you read through that statement, it was not a consumer-facing statement. If you go back to we had a couple podcasts on that day back in 2021, and I remember saying, this is not a consumer-focused statement. I spoke to a friend that has 3 decades of experience in public relations and marketing. He said, who wrote this? Like, you do not write this type of a statement to consumers. Like, why was this released to the public? Why wasn't this only sent to the people they work with? It makes no sense. You don't leave, because they literally left customers. If you remember at the end of that statement from the SG&E closure, it was at the very bottom. You lead with the customers. You don't leave them to the end. Like that's a marketing no-no. That's a PR no-no. You don't do that. So like, I know Ash has said the same thing. Again, this friend that I highly respect that I talked to said the same thing. And I just wanted to highlight that from what was said, that, you know, I think when people read that, they didn't understand the context of what was being said there. That was not to us. They wrote that statement to publishers and developers and their partners. That was never intended for us. And people were trying to kind of break it down and figure out this means this and kind of playing detective, when in reality, all along, it was, we're going to support you and offer you an option where you can put the games directly to your players, meaning it's going to be a business to business venture is our intent, alongside the consumer facing offering, you know, for however long that lasts. So it's Ray, you're going to kill me because I've said this all day today. I hope this is a lesson where people will listen directly to the companies themselves, a PR official, the CEO, someone that's in authority that's allowed to speak on these things. And to be fair to content creators, and I'm putting myself in this category, these companies should not be relying on us to do the work for them. They need to speak directly to customers. It should not be up to you and I, Doctor, or anyone on this panel to have to jump in and figure this stuff out. That should not be the case. And that, unfortunately, again, going back to this whole thing with the way they communicated, their lack of understanding of how to communicate properly to customers, it's been apparent from the beginning. It's been a sad, you know, again, you don't have to be a marketing, have a master's or a doctorate. If you have basic understanding of marketing, this is not how you go about this. And marketing, when I say marketing, I'm also including PR, public relations, damage control, how to spin things, how to make sure that customers understand where you're coming from.
Yep. And Chase, you shared this here. So that is the official statement from Stadia that does state that they're going soon to Mexico. So it was officially confirmed by Stadia. So it's really, they're going in a direction and take a spin to shutting it down. It doesn't look good. So it's odd how it's being handled right now. It came as a surprise to a lot of people. I guess they're ripping the Band-Aid off, but they're taking a lot of skin with that Band-Aid.
No, not Band-Aid.
I would have wished they would have done it, just not now. Just did it when they knew it, and just
should have been done way sooner.
Yeah, because damn.
Seeing people not going to get anything Google anymore. This was a nail in the coffin. A lot of people, sadly, yep, that's going to go around.
Hey,
what's up, Maker?
Just right there. Just get that, folks. Come on. You know you want to. Just embrace the Apple. It's good for you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, Maker. Samsung will kill your products too.
Yeah, they will.
It's a lot to take in. Yeah, it's pretty clear Stadia didn't know it was coming. They were making a new UI and advertising games right up till today, like releasing a new game.
Well, I would like to clarify, like, the communication team didn't know until like probably last minute. I think Chaka knew already though, because she already said that she has another job planned in Google, so she knew prior. But like the who's the community people right now?
Did they have one?
Was it Dan
and Chaka? She was filling all those positions.
I could have sworn they had like one or two more people still.
I think there was another one, but we haven't heard about her for a while.
I think Dan is still there because I thought I saw him on Reddit post something.
Who uses Reddit? Come on now.
But I don't. There's definitely some people that I feel like didn't know until last minute, and they're just trying their best to sell the platform, you know, and I think that's fair. I mean, my contract's up in February, and I'm still gonna do my job up until I find another job or or they
Apple will
extend
take
that
you.
contract. So, hey, that's just what we do, with businesses like that. When you find out your job's not going to be there in a couple months, you just look out for another one.
Nate, what the fuck?
Is that okay? We lost Vet.
Well, and I think I'm trying to figure out how to say this the right way. Ray, how were we saying this earlier? The mid-level like staff that's at Stadia, like the folks that day-to-day operations. That's what we were saying, right?
Right.
I don't think they didn't know. This came from the highest.
Blindsided. They got blindsided, and like I said, there was devs in the DM that were like, "What?"
I think that's going to burn bridges with, like, especially some of the devs that they had partnerships with coming up, for them to find out.
There was a game that was supposed to come out December, and it just breaks my heart that this guy is not going to get it on this platform.
I'm hoping they'll work out a deal with devs to help them port the game to other platforms to pay for the costs.
I do not think that. I mean, they're already pretty cut as is, and if you're closing up shop, you're not going to be spending extra resources. Like as of for my contract's ending, and I've talked with my managers about this. They want to actually cut down the amount of supervisors we currently have. They want to cut costs. They not continue spending it, and that's just how it is.
Okay, so Shaka just put, I'm seeing stuff about how we were all blindsided, and that is not true. I wasn't. The messaging was handled strategically to
mitigate leaks.
Yeah,
and I'm sure everyone heard the news
internally versus on Twitter. Unfortunately, that resulted in a tight gap this morning. Wow.
So there was a bunch of people who knew, but not everyone. So
I would assume managers knew, and generally first to know.
Well, on the Google side of it, it makes sense. You don't want the employees to,
because they'll all leave.
Right. You don't want them to know. Like, from a business standpoint, you would not tell your current employees. I totally get that. My issue is, again, going back to something I said earlier, is them choosing to not, again, at the highest level of these partnerships with the developers and publishers they have, not letting that highest level person know to say, prepare, be ready. Here's the FAQs, prepare your teams, or prepare yourself to let your teams know so that when we make this announcement, you can then pass this information down. And at some point, Doctor, we're going to find out how long they waited between the point they made this decision and the point that this was announced. And I'm just going to say this, and I'm going to stand by it. People can disagree with me if they want. But at the moment they knew they were going to do this and they were ready to take the action, whatever that moment was, if it did in fact take until today to do that, fine. But if it didn't, if this was weeks or months ago that they could have done this, they needed to have done it then. They did not need to wait and push this out, and they needed to communicate to everybody and not continue to put customers in a position where they were of the belief that this platform was moving forward, because they've been, who said it earlier, they've just been silent the entire time on that point. That is not the way that you do business. Again, from a customer standpoint, I mean, Google is just 100% in the wrong on all of this today. 100% in the wrong.
We've said it months ago on this podcast that Phil Harrison was silent, and that the next time we would hear about him was to announce that he's shutting down Stadia. Yes, what happened?
Yeah, that's facts. That's true. That's true.
He showed up and said, "Hey guys, I'm right."
And I'd be lying. I mean, there's a lot of people that defended this platform. I mean, really, I mean, defended, argued, debates, heated battles, back and forth in Twitter. I mean, just battles. I never really wanted to get into nothing like that, but it happened. But it kind of opened. But today kind of opened my eyes. How I look at certain companies now when they come out with something new. And
right.
it opened my eyes, man. Because if you told me today that Stadia was going to shut down in January, I'm like, no way, man. The expansion,
That was a slap your mama
game. I'm
shock,
getting ready to purchase FIFA 2023
Yeah.
this morning. I'm like, I can't believe this is happening. There's nothing in the store. It is nothing but shit. It's like
because
gone. Like
you know
done.
why? Because you said the G word, and instead it should be the A word.
Look,
Apple.
man, Apple is not paying you, so stop.
Hey, you don't know the business deals I've got with companies.
Yeah,
I wanted to say, like, I actually had this discussion with my girlfriend like on Saturday, I believe. Actually, it was Sunday, but we talked about a little bit about some content creators, like as much as you love the platform, if you pass on like what you say as truth, I feel like don't listen to those people, because no one knows. Nobody's in on these boardrooms that's talking on YouTube. Like a lot of these people talking, a lot of it's just them speculation, guessing. You know what they've heard. None of it's ever 100%. The industry changes on a week's notice. Like, it's real quick. There's games in development that will never come out. That's a fact. And I think those people were a detriment to Stadia. When you're constantly hearing these people say, "Oh, Stadia is doing really well," I know because I talked with these people. No,
but to be fair, if you're talking to somebody who thinks they have a job and everything is all right, there's people didn't even know until they found out. You know, man,
that's why take everything with a grain of salt.
This is,
you know,
I know one thing. It as a consumer, Google, damn, if this ain't a slap. I mean, damn, Google, really. So
It's
I mean,
adding on a bad precedent.
I'm upset. I'm really pissed off because I was a founder. I believed in it, and I wanted to see it do good. I really did. You know, I love gaming. All these platforms behind me, I love each and every one. I really wanted to see Stadia do well. You know, and I feel like, who's that? Tyra Banks. We was rooting for you. You know, she's screaming at the model. You know, I feel like, damn, man, this is screwed up. But I honestly, when I go into Best Buy and I go past the Google counter, it's gonna make me think where I'm gonna put my dollars at now, man. Like, seriously, this is screwed up, man. It's screwed up because there's a lot of games that I put a lot of hours in, and I wanted to keep going back and playing it. I don't get me wrong, I do appreciate the refund and everything, but damn, the games was not my games. I was told those were my games.
They're not. Nothing.
They were
never.
If somebody told you those were your games, you were told wrong. You were
playing. They were my games.
They're not your games.
There's
they
never
just wanted your money, damn it.
Damn it. I'm like, I'm sitting here, and I remember I debated with a guy at work for 3 hours. He's like, those ain't your games, man. What if they just close down? I'll still be able to play with them. I'm going to click in a link and I'll be playing with them forever.
Which, by the way, I want to be clear, it's not only Stadia, it's every single platform. You don't own the game. You own a license to have the game.
Ray, it's just like if you're underage. When you have kids and they say, "Dad, that's mine," and you tell them, "No, it's not. You live here. You're not old enough. If you ain't 18, it's not yours. It's actually mine." You're now the kid again. You don't own anything. Nothing.
Ray, if you go to, except Nintendo right now, but if you go to any store, you buy a PlayStation 5 game, you put on your console that disc, it's not yours.
Right, because they can shut the whole network down. I wouldn't be able to update to play. No, you're right. But Dude, I have
But
over.
one thing I gotta tell you, if by any chance, let's say, I'm lacking something to compare, but a platform. I'm gonna say Xbox just for the comparison because Xbox, we know that that's not gonna happen. But if Microsoft decides, okay, we're shutting down video games, you will not be able to play every single game that you purchase on Xbox, and they will not refund you. That's the thing. Since Stadia is almost 3 years old new, I feel like they thought it's a moral right thing to do to refund. But I don't feel like any other company would refund it.
Well, let's be clear, and illegal.
Yeah, because they said.
Yes. Exactly. They
Remember
have
that,
to
right?
cover their tracks. They had to cover their tracks.
I remember they said it.
Well, and they're like, whoever said that at E3 is fired now because Google said, "Hey, you remember that thing you said
I think it was
back then?"
I think it was John Justice, but me and Eddie, I remember Eddie, we talked about that back at the time, and I was like, I remember saying, like, who allowed them to say that when their terms of service say you're not going to get a refund? Like, that's a legal nightmare.
They changed.
They're seeing it now.
I'm fairly sure that there was in the frequently asked question about Stadia. There was a question about what if Stadia shuts down? What happens to my games? And I'm fairly
You know what happens?
sure.
This is what happens.
Just let me answer.
Oof.
Let me answer, Vet. I'm pretty sure I saw an answer from Google that said that even if Stadia was to shut down, that you would still have access to your games and the servers would still be up. And like it was not a problem. Your games at Stadia, your purchases are there to stay. I'm fairly sure because I just looked at the Stadia fact. It's not there anymore because they updated it because it's shutting down today. But I'm fairly sure I saw that statement a bunch of times, and it was an official statement for Stadia that said that
I think it was the Stadia
was to shut down.
Spaceman. I think it was the game save. But either way, they're not even giving you the game save.
Yeah.
No, they're not.
Eddie's right. They said about the game save, Doctor, that you can be able to pull the information out and then move it over to another game. And now they've totally gone against that as well.
Amazon Luna lets you get your game saves. Just saying.
I think there's a way to get the saves, but it's very complicated through Google Takeout, but it's very complex.
They'd probably come back with a statement saying, it'll take us some time to get your save. Check back and we'll give you an email when we have it. And then, the server will be shut down long before you get that email.
They just extended the return policy for 3 years.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, I just saw on Twitter the Outbreak dev saying, "Don't worry, we'll still fulfill your Stadia tiers. You'll still get the rewards for doing that." And I'm like,
Stop.
Did
You fucking lying.
Did he
You're
really?
lying.
No.
Share the tweet. Share the tweet. Come on, I want to see this tweet.
No,
I was like, why? Like, dude, just
Damn.
post it in private.
Chris says I was able to get my Cyberpunk save from Stadia and transfer to PC through the Takeout. Yep, Google Takeout. You can get your save files. Just a bit iffy to navigate.
I got pizza through Takeout.
Yeah. So you sent. Okay, yeah, it won't be long.
Graphics gear.
So
What's going on, buddy?
we will
Welcome
be
to the
fully
channel.
fulfilling both Stadia tier. There's no reason to cancel pledges. Everything will be made and shipped. We did not offer game keys as part of rewards. Wow. The title will, of course, not come to Stadia, though, but your rewards are safe. What in the hell?
That is tone deaf if I ever heard.
No. The best part. Go back up just a tad. The best part right here. There's no reason to cancel your pledge. No shit. He wants his money. Of course, he don't want you to cancel that pledge.
Hot Wheel Unleashed has landed on Google Stadia. Get this chance to show your friends who is the best on track.
Hey, Doctor,
that's sad. Yeah.
Kiefer said that he did it. He pulled his Cyberpunk data pretty easily. I was gonna say, Kiefer, if you have any information of how to do that or link to like any, Well, I was going to say to give it generally to the public to kind of like say, because there's going to be people who are going to want to be doing this. So it might be that is going to be a helpful thing. That's the only reason I was asking.
I have looked at it in the past. It's called Google Takeout. I'll see if I can do it without putting too much private information.
Ron, I'm sorry that your Peppa Pig is lost. Go check with Microsoft. They might have found it.
I think it should be fine. So if you go, that's Google Takeout. Your account, your data, export a copy of content in your Google account to back it up or use it with a service outside of Google. And if you browse through here, I don't know if there's one specifically for Stadia. Okay, yeah. Your game activity profile and social data from Stadia. Is that the only one? So, game saves. So yeah, includes your game saves file. So you go here, like let's say I unclick everything, deselect all, and I go here. I'll just remove this for now so that it doesn't, in case any personal information pops up.
The downside is that's not going to work if you don't own a PC to play it.
So you can select how you want to receive the file. You do one export, or you can select on a frequency, like every 2 months you want to get all your save files, but you would do it only once, and you choose a file type, so either zip or TGZ, which I'm not familiar with, and you can select the limit of the file size. So going this way, you're actually getting your save file. So just go back. So you go to Google Takeout. Anyway, so the service is called Google Takeout. You browse, you'll see something specific about Stadia. You click it, and you'll be able to get your save files in a zip format. And yeah, that would be only for PC. Wouldn't apply for consoles, I think, unless there are some consoles that will accept PC files. But I doubt Xbox or PlayStation will do that, and especially Nintendo, don't think they'll do that. But if you want to bring the save file to PC, this is a method that should work, and it's been confirmed in the chat that it does work. So here you go. Any questions on this? Yeah, it is 100%. It is rough, but you got to do what you got to do.
I'm partially glad I didn't invest as much as a lot of people that.
Some graphic gear. You were gonna say?
I'm just happy I didn't invest super heavily into a lot of these like online titles that you can't transfer over. I think Red Dead, all that online stuff is going to be gone. And I saw something from, I think it was Color TV, that posted like almost 6,000 hours of gameplay on Red Dead 2, and all that's like going to be gone.
And he is not the number one on the community. There's people with more hours than him.
You know,
Color is game.
You know what kills me is I'm looking at the Stadia community blog, and if people did know, game on FIFA 23 early access now available. Stadians, your season starts here. 3 days of early access available with the EA Sports FIFA 23 Ultimate Edition now live, looking better than ever. Then the next blog, Stadia players, you may already have seen the message shared on Google. I mean, this was on the 27th, and then just a couple of days after that.
They knew about it.
That's where I'm pissed. That's where, because I
they knew that it was shutting down in 2 days. Well, yeah, exactly. They write a blog. They know it's closing, yet they're still trying to get people to spend their money to play a game that eventually you'll get that money back. But still, we want you to spend $90 right now to play a game that you're going to lose in 4 months. Like, that's a blatant. That's a ballsy move. I'll give them credit for that, but it's a slap in the face to your community.
It's simpler than that. It's just because whoever wrote the blog post had no idea that this was coming.
Well, yeah, that is
Probably,
true.
yeah.
But
Are you sure about that?
The
And
manager,
I cannot tell it because I don't
Are
work
you-
there. But if my
manager
experience
did
in
that.
big tech, I would say yes.
I don't know.
the
It's
manager-
Google, so I wouldn't trust them.
out did that.
Again, just FYI, for example, Skull and Bones got delayed. My team and I are working on the game, and I found out via Twitter.
Yeah,
there's-
Paul Tassi actually posted about that and was sending multiple tweets from developers saying my game is supposed to be released on the platform November 1st, and this is how I find out. That's really unprofessional. Like, you need to have that communication with developers you're working with.
It's going to be a disaster to handle that for Google for a while. For years, like everyone was like, okay, the Google graveyard is like it's exaggerated. This just put the writing on the doors of that graveyard. So it's bad.
I was just gonna say on the part of Ray was saying, like, we don't know who wrote it, which I think that's fair, like whether they knew or they didn't know. But one thing I would really encourage is just remember that these folks are people, everyday people like you and I, that are going to a job and working for this company. They're not the person to be getting frustrated with. If you want to voice frustration, do it through official channels, use feedback forms, use Reddit, use Twitter, just be respectful. But you have a right as a consumer to voice that you're not happy about this. And I just went on Twitter a moment ago because I was just curious about like what people are saying. And there's a lot of people, Ray, like you, that are saying, this is it. I'm done with Google products. I'm not buying another Google product. I'm out. You led me in a direction of a path for so long, and now this. And again, I just hope that this is a lesson for people. You know, Ash has said this back on our podcast, Eddie, on Cloud Gaming Unfiltered. If you remember, one time he said, this is why you don't have allegiance to companies, because what will happen is they'll steer you wrong. And if you have allegiance, the hurt just is that much stronger because you feel like it was your friend and they've done you wrong. You know, and as good as like, let's just like Xbox, as good of all the things Xbox has done recently, 10 years from now, they could be not a great company. So you have to be very careful about how you know, how far you're willing to. I'm not going to tell people what to do. I'm trying to be very careful and do a very fine line here, but you just need to do what's best for you and not, don't just rely on one piece of information, whether it's a content creator like myself. And again, I'm putting myself in that category, a journalist. You need to hear from these companies. You need to know that the company is actually interested in supporting you as a customer. And if they're not, then you got to do what's right for you at the end of the day. You got to make the right decision for yourself. I'm sorry. I know that's probably boring and it's probably like doesn't tie into everything that we're saying here, but it's, I feel bad for people today because there's people that are honestly hurt over this. They invested time and money in this platform and now they've got nothing. And it was the only way they could play games. It sucks. That sucks.
Here's the thing. You mentioned Xbox. Xbox is the perfect example of how fast you can turn around a platform. And they've done it multiple times. The first Xbox came out before the release. It was a disaster. By the release, they fixed a lot of stuff. Then it was a success. Xbox 360 came out. Red button of death, like a red ring of death. Everyone knows the story. It cost Microsoft a fortune. But they ended up backing it and they put the money forward. They fixed it and they came back from it. The Xbox One was a disaster because people were not happy with the DRM, the DVR that was on it, and the like a bunch of stuff. Like it was not focused on gaming at all, and it was not getting the games. People were fed up. Then Phil Spencer came around. He spun things. He brought it back. Like he did a Game Pass. He did a bunch of stuff to rectify the work culture at Xbox. And by the end of the generation, Xbox was back on track, and now they're in a very healthy position with the Xbox Series S and X. They've done it many times. They were in a very bad place, and they brought up their sleeve. They got to work, and they got it back in a good position. So, yeah, there was a lot of mistakes. they've lost the consumers like the respect and everything, but they did the work and brought it back. What's up, Chase?
Hold on. Is this new? Is this like a brand new thing where they ask you to fill out a survey?
Wait, it just popped on my screen as well.
Do you see this?
Stadia, tell us what you think after you visit. Can you take a brief? Because I opened. Okay, I'll show it.
Wait a minute.
Where did y'all get that? I don't see nothing.
Chase has
Oh,
it
you
as
did
well.
push that out. That was available a couple days ago.
Was it? Okay.
I took it. I think they rolled it out.
Because Chase's face changed, and you wanted to make a like interjection on this. At the same time, your face changed, and my screen went darker, like around here, because it's super pale. And this popped up at the same time, so I think we got the pop up at the same time.
I don't have that pop up.
Not a bad thing there, but that goes back to what I was saying a moment ago. That's you want to give Google feedback. There it is. You have an opportunity to send them something and tell them how you feel about this.
They didn't give me that opportunity.
So that's a blog post that was made kindly by Mrs. or Mr. Stadia employee, as usual, as we're very familiar with over time. Stadia players, you may already have seen the message shared on Google's main page, main blog just now. This is a short recap of the most important information for players from the main post. You will continue to have access to your game library through January 18, 2023, so you can complete final play sessions and move your progress to alternate platforms where possible. So right now, just to say, the optic is Stadia is already down. Stadia is already like, this is shut down. This right now, what we're entering is a courtesy period to finish our games. Commerce functionality, the ability to buy games, new subscription add-ons, or in-game purchases on Stadia has now been disabled. Google will offer a full refund of all Stadia hardware purchase, a Stadia controller, Stadia Founders Edition, Stadia Premier Edition, Play and Watch with Google TV package, made in the Google Store, and all purchase of games and in-game transaction made in the Stadia Store. The refund process will take us some time to complete, and we expect to have the majority of refund completed by the middle of January 2023. Please allow us until this time before contacting our support team regarding the status of your refund. Stadia Pro subscription payments will not be eligible for refund, but if you are an active subscriber, you will continue to have access to your library without a charge during the shutdown period. As we begin to work processing refunds to customers, Stadia customer service agents will not be able to provide more information to you at this time. For information and updates, please review the information on our help center, which will include new information as it becomes available. We'll also contact players directly via email shortly with more information. We want to thank you for taking this journey with us, in particular the founders and fans who have been with us from the beginning. The Stadia team poured the same passion for games into our work building and supporting Stadia as you have shown us each day in your play. Posted by Stadia team.
Hey, you can still on my phone here. I see get 1 month and give 2 months of Stadia Pro. Invite a friend. I just clicked on. You can still add some people, folks.
Yeah. Some functionalities are.
Are there any Steam Are there any Steam people out there? I'll add you on Steam. That's not going anywhere.
Need a refund from my Wii U.
Man, Meg is on point with that comment.
What did she say? Why would they give a survey?
Why would they
never listen to us before, and why would they start now?
I remember. I remember Duncan specifically telling me about the one time that Stadia representatives had them sit down with a lot of content creators and ask them, "What do you think of the platform? What do you think?" And he said he was one of the only ones to actually say, "Y'all have a lot of work to do." and I think I think that's also a problem. This blindness that they see from a lot of people criticizing the platform who could potentially have given them good feedback. There's definitely a lot of ways that Stadia could have turned it around, but I think management was an issue. I think it was disorganized. I think they didn't listen to the proper feedback. I think they just saw the dedicated fan base who were always going to praise it, always going to accept it for what it was, when you need to capture that other audience. And that's what they lacked.
Well, the Stadia Twitter team, at least on Twitter, we've known this. They've been muting and blocking a lot of people. It's basically you were like, if you were trying to address the Stadia team, like I had an issue at the moment. I went on Twitter, tried to contact them. Like if some other people told me like they contacted them, got an answer immediately. When I tried to contact them, never got an answer. Then I went on, like I tried some other method, was not getting answers. Then I just tried on Facebook for fun, and immediately got some answers. And I wrote to them, it's like, your Twitter team is not answering. Like I DM'd them, and they've not been answering. It's like, couldn't answer why. And they helped me like through the issue I was going through. But the Stadia Twitter team has been muting a lot of people. I understand it's to probably minimize like how much stuff they have to go through every day, but you're the social media team. You're supposed to keep an eye out on what the people are saying, write it down, report it. And no, they were just muting a whole bunch of people. So, and a lot of people have been repeating the same story where they've been trying to communicate with the Stadia team on Twitter and getting no answer, and they were literally just muted.
I never got muted. I just got ignored.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's a very sad story. I've loved the platform like any of us here, like any of you guys. We really enjoyed that platform, but yeah.
Ludo.
Just trying to catch up.
Yeah, I mean,
do such a comparison.
Doctor, when Ray and I were talking about this earlier, like this hurts today. Like, you know, I was still using Stadia off and on for different reasons. And you know, one of the things with cloud gaming that I think we all have experienced is that everyone has a different experience with different services. Like Ash's, for example, Stadia did not work well for him, but then Luna and Xbox and GeForce Now were phenomenal. For me, Stadia is the best performing one. Then GeForce Now is okay. Xbox is still got some challenges for me, and then Luna, it doesn't work well at all. So it sucks, you know, from the standpoint of I was still playing some games on there at times where, you know, let's say my wife was watching something on television. It was easier for me to be on my Chromebook and play a game. And you know, that's going to be gone. So like I said earlier, no one wins in this scenario. There's no winning. Like Google, it's a horrible PR day for them, and it's going to continue to be, in my honest belief. Customers lost out today that have been using the platform and were happy with it. And then, you know, again, those partnerships with the developers and publishers, that's going to be, if there's any of those entities that have their parent company have a different relationship with Google on a consumer side, they're really gonna think hard about this, about continuing further partnerships with them in the future. And again, it'll even be worse, Doctor, if someone reaches out to a publication and says, "I'm a developer and we're not getting our money." It's going to get really nasty. I'm telling y'all, like this isn't the end of this story. It's not done. And I'm not trying to jump out ahead of this. I'm just telling you there's potential here for really bad PR components around this that could get worse for Google before they get better.
Do you think this went all the way up the chain of command for the closing it down? Like Google's parent company, Alphabet, was
Yeah.
the one that said, "Hey, shut it down.
Well,
You're
remember,
making us lose money."
I think it's
Shut this.
I think it's been on the table for a long, long time. I
Well-
think the moment it shut down SG&E, it was considered, but they were like, "We're gonna wait." But Phil Harrison was told to prepare, write down something, like start to prepare the
Or
field for if
this-
that comes down.
Shutting
is-
down the SG&E is I'm giving you a second chance.
This is so bad to have somebody that was the leader and not seen until today is just
no, it's not good. It's not good.
But here's the thing: it's not.
I was
seen
He
like-
by
was the
us
Phil
consumers.
Spencer, the Jim Ryan of Stadia. How often do we
the-
see those guys? We see them all the time. Phil Spencer is on a shit ton of podcasts. He's always doing public appearances. He's communicating with his fan base. He's on Twitter talking with his fan base almost every day, sharing stuff, answering questions. Jim Ryan, maybe not as big of a social media presence, but he often does some statesman. He always he does talk to the journalists. Phil Harrison, the last time we publicly had anything from him was the SGN shot down, then he disappeared.
Well, it did go up. So real quick, Maker, to Vet's question, it did go up the chain. There's no way they made
Okay.
this type of a decision without the highest of people at Google knowing that they were going to do this. And again, remember, there was that I don't remember the exact month, but it was either June or July that conversation or that not conversation, but that article
Rumor.
went out.
Right.
No, not the rumor.
Oh no, you're talking the Business Insider.
Yeah, well, no, not even that. I don't know if it was Business Insider, but someone said that internally at Google, they were going to be cutting back certain products and services. Like that was already part of the plan after the earnings calls that they were doing. So that's probably, again, more than likely where some of this officially started. And then now we're where we're at today to this point.
I just wanted to mention, do you guys remember the Video Game Awards when Google Play Games for PC was advertised on it
Yes.
and nothing for Google Stadia?
Yes.
To me, that was also like a kind of writing in the wall. One of the
There-
biggest
there's-
gaming events.
we
and they
talked
did
about
not
that.
But the problem is, and along with that, where the hell that disappeared too. They
The
advertised
advertising.
that's all it was. It was advertised at that event, and that was it, and the end of it, because there's been nothing out of Google about that program either. So that's probably
It
what
was in beta in a certain region, and they've stopped talking about it for a while.
Yeah, it was in beta in I think Japan and maybe one other place, and then I'm betting it was a failure, and they shoved that under the rug as well.
That I just want to bring up this comment here. Graphics Gear saying it's going to get worse for the economy before it gets better. The whole industry is bracing for an absolute shit show for 2023 and probably longer. This is why Meta is expecting to fire people soon too. That is one thing I've been following a lot. What's going on with the economy lately. There's something bad coming in the economy that's been forecasted. People are saying 2023. I personally think it might be sooner, but we'll see about this. This is entirely different matter. But there's a lot of companies out there that's been firing a lot of personnel. It's very hard right now in the economy. Like different banks, different tech companies have been firing on average 20% of their personnel, which is non negligible. We're seeing a lot of cuts because they're bracing for most likely economic disaster that might be going because inflation's been going up way too high. I don't want to get too far down that rabbit trail there, but a lot of companies have to start making cuts, and Google might have been motivated by that to try to cut the end here, stop bleeding money, put the money where it's needed so that it's no longer loosened by the time this comes down. So maybe we won't see an economic crash, but the signs are there, and a lot of companies are making cuts right now, preparing for this because it could be bad.
I know. I'm making cuts at my company too. Maker, you're fired. I'm gonna have to let you go. Sorry. We had to make some hard decisions, man.
Bro,
I
I got
Google's
people.
hiring.
My phone is ringing, man. I got people. Hey, man, answer your phone, man. I want to talk shit about your Stadia. I got people calling me.
Hey, that's
man.
me. I've been calling all day, man. Why haven't you answered my call?
Fuck you. Answer my
Ubisoft
phone,
Halifax
Ray.
is hiring.
Stadia.
Ubisoft is in Halifax? I
Do
didn't
you
even know about this.
See what
Hey.
I have? I play other stuff besides Stadia,
I see your wife standing there
Leave me
staring at you because she
alone.
found out how much you spent.
Ubisoft to Halifax is mobile games.
Ray, the Dolphins
Mobile
are done.
games? I didn't even know that you guys had a presence in Halifax.
We
I don't even know where that
in
is.
Canada.
I don't even know where that is. So
That is the Atlantic
has a
Ocean.
lot of-
Halifax?
The
That's where I
Atlantic,
am.
on the
dude,
Atlantic side.
I don't know these things. I'm in the United States. I don't know nothing about Canada. I just know
I
you got
thought
maple syrup, and I'm invested in it. Hey,
I thought nobody faxed anymore. Like I thought that
I
was
still
the
do.
thing.
I got a fax machine.
You
somewhere in
and
my
Hallie.
house.
Yeah.
Mobile games. Ubisoft is in all the best places. Yep. That's right.
Never
A
again.
lot of great cities.
Never
You know,
again.
So
You know who is
no
probably
Ubisoft.
who's probably
Minnesota.
smiling today? I'm not saying this to rub anything, and I'm just saying from a business standpoint, it's probably Phil Spencer. And the only reason I say that is because again, they looked at Google, they looked at Amazon, they looked at Facebook as immediate competition for what the entertainment future. Again, Amazon with their customer footprint and their Prime and the enterprise part of it, Google advertising their enterprise footprint, Facebook advertising the outreach that they have with customers. It's I really think, like, again, I go back to the SG&E thing and some of the things that I remember some of the Stadia staff saying at that time about wanting to do, remember, like those bigger kind of expansive pieces of content where it's kind of like almost like a metaverse type of game. And they realize the amount of money to play in this space that's going to end up being the future. They don't want it. They don't want to do that.
People will still try it, Meg. Sorry,
that's
Chase.
something
I
though,
read Meg's
Chase,
comment.
that's something, Chase, though, that we've been talking a lot about, and it might actually be part of Google's play. Cloud
just not
gaming-
on the consumer side though.
Yeah, but we've talked a lot about a metaverse and made us realize that cloud gaming was not the end game. It was a step to take in a direction for basically entertainment that's interconnected in a bunch of ways. And we've talked about the fact that Google, with immersive streaming, they're actually setting themselves up to be a competitive provider for different entertainment companies that want to have their foothold in that space.
Yep.
It's very likely that their engagement on Stadia was kind of hindering their advances in that field to put forward a platform for the metaverse, taking away attention that they wanted to bring over to optimizing a platform for that. And because that is something that's getting a lot of investment right now, the metaverse, Web3, all of that. Lately we've seen Embracer that acquired Lord of the Ring for everything, like video games, movies, music, and they have the rights to Lord of the Ring. And we're going to see a lot of content shifting around like this. There's already been a lot. Microsoft, when they started the acquisition of Activision Blizzard, openly stated that their objective for that was the metaverse that they were working on. So while Microsoft has a solid stance with Xbox that's bringing a lot of money, even if they extend to the metaverse, they can easily fold that in and they can actually leverage Xbox to have their metaverse reach more people. While Google, they had stated that was seeing a limited success. They couldn't really leverage that to bring people in a metaverse. Instead, they have a company side of business available for corporates that want to get involved in the metaverse. They can just offer that service, and it's white label. You won't even see that it's Google, other than if you go probably in settings of whatever platform you're exploring. So that makes it an easier sell for Google. So that is something we might see in the future. Google still with a immersive stream, getting involved in the metaverse, that you'll be playing in a gamified environment that's themed on whatever you want, exploring all kind of venues that you might switch into a Google environment that sometimes then Microsoft and whatever. This is something that the tech industry has been investing a lot in. So that might be part of the reason.
I wanted to bring light on something. You mentioned spending for a lot of IP and stuff of that nature. I put an article in the private chat where a Saudi Arabia group is said to want to invest 37 billion into gaming.
Yep. That is huge.
And they're looking to acquire. Like if you scroll down, they
Savvy's earmark of 13 billion for the acquisition and development of leading game publisher to become a strategic development partner, according to Kingdom's press agency. Already with that kind of money, they're already part of the big players in the industry. Because how much is Embracer worth? I think it's less than 50 billion. They have a lot of studios, but it's a lot of smaller studios. So already with 37 billion, they're starting with a big leg up to acquire a lot of content. So another 18 billion is pegged for minority investments. Savvy's efforts are expected to establish 250 game companies and create 39,000 jobs. Press agency noted. Investment are announced by Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. So, and that is an initial investment. It's very probable if there's success that he'll increase the investment, because we know they have a lot of revenue at their disposal. Savvy's ambitions, local and global, with plans to build esports organization in the Middle East and studios making games for worldwide audience. Very interesting investment.
What are we reading
So
here?
that's an addition of several multi-billion-dollar investments from Saudi government into EA, Take-Two, Activision, Nintendo, and more. So definitely.
Trust me, Meg. I know what I'm talking about.
Acquiring content has been big lately. Yeah, Meg says, I don't see this as a negative against Google necessarily. Google isn't afraid to kill things. They are losing money. That's okay. But I will be careful if ever being an early adopter again. But that's the thing.
Don't buy their Pixel Watch.
Google has never been excellent at selling to consumers. They're good at selling corporate products. That's where they've already made the most money.
They sold me a Pixel phone and a Pixel XL, the 2XL, the 3XL, and then I got a wake-up call when I realized that Apple was better.
Only companies in cloud infrastructure will survive: Azure, AWS, that's from Ludiverse, and even Google Cloud still. PlayStation will have to go to immersive stream or AWS to create competition in cloud gaming.
PlayStation will go to AWS probably.
PlayStation, there's a lot of interesting ways it could be handled. They have a very strong footing in terms of content. Their IPs are very strong, very well known. So they have a lot of freedom on their end. Even by staying with Azure, they can have a bright future. But indeed, they could decide to turn to the AWS and.
Sorry, Chris is calling me out saying Samsung's better. Chris, I'm sorry. You keep your Samsung overpriced Samsung phone. Make sure the battery doesn't explode on you, and I'll keep my Apple devices that all are in sync, and I don't have to worry about fragmented operating system like Android, and rely on waiting on my security updates that Samsung says they'll give at a time. By the time you get it, you'll be on the next generation of Android. You'll still be
Meg
behind
says,
technology.
and I will suddenly never believe anyone who says we are in for the long haul 1,000 times. Yep. That's bad. Sorry, because Meg. They kept repeating that. Maybe they're not lying when they say that, Meg. Yeah, it's people thought they would be in the long run, so. Yep. It's sad. Any other stuff you guys wanted to talk about? There's some news from other platforms.
I'm burnt out.
Yeah, man.
I mean, Amazon Luna dropped a bunch of games.
I'm burned out.
We can
Boost.
go over
Hey,
some of
I'll throw this in. If you still want to play FIFA 23 in the cloud, you still have an option, folks. Go buy it on Steam and play it on Boosteroid.
I listened to Duncan today. I'm gonna.
You won't lose your. Yeah, I heard. I've had people already messaging me about Duncan and Boosteroid and how it's such an evil fake company and it's run by the Russians and all the other bullshit statements that everybody wants to say about it. And you know what? I don't give two shits what they have to say. They're probably also the ones that were 100% on board with Stadia and it's never going to die. Oh. Oopsie.
Duncan's
Did I say that out loud?
Duncan's been right. But
okay.
We could go over.
Go play FIFA 23 on Stadia, Ray. Let me know how it runs for you.
We could go over some of the new games coming out.
Sorry, I'm playing it on PS5. Oh, wait a minute. You can't either.
Well, apparently Returnal is...
Hey, guess what? I don't play FIFA anyways.
Yeah, well, I know.
So it doesn't matter.
I know.
I'm invested in other games. You got time for that FIFA, soccer, football nonsense. Who has time to be playing the most popular game? God. Okay.
But you were going to say
Maker?
Yeah, we could go over like EA announcing Wild Hearts, and then what's it called? Who's doing Reach the Finals? I can't remember what their studio is called.
Know.
It's the Arc Raiders studio.
Oh, I just saw what time it is. I'm gonna have to go.
I'm gonna have to go shortly, anyways, because I gotta get my kid to bed. I realized it's 9 and he has school at 8. He has to be at school at 8. So,
we'll just wrap it up then. So, Vet, where can we find you?
Vet Cloud Gaming, YouTube, Facebook Gaming, Twitter, Twitch. You won't see Vet Cloud Gaming getting canceled anywhere. I mean, unless I make a statement or two, but that's on you guys to cancel me. Tomorrow I'll be live. I'll be playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So you'll see me in the wilderness slaughtering innocent civilians as I run around and complete missions and beat a game. And I'm also going to be doing probably, I think I'm going to be doing, I don't know, a game or two on Boosteroid, you know, that platform that nobody likes because it's evil. And maybe I'll buy FIFA. Oh, I can't buy FIFA 23 on Stadia. Damn. So I won't play that one. But you'll find me there, and if you want, you can always follow me on Twitter. I post stuff all the time. I'm in everybody's chats, harassing people and making fun of platforms. And you can also find me on Discord, but not on Stadia.
Awesome.
It's dead.
Chase, thank you so much for coming. It was great having you again, as usual. Where can we find you? Sell yourself.
Yeah, I'm sorry I got to go early. We got to do cleanup tomorrow. So I just realized what time it was, and I promised I'd be wrapped up by 10. Well, I won't. So I just made my decision a little bit earlier, so I just want to give everyone a fair expectation. I'm not doing content this weekend, so I'm going to be taking a break once I get done with the stuff we've got to take care of tomorrow. I'm just going to be tired, so. Just a heads up for those of you that were thinking about a Saturday morning coffee talk that there will not be a show this week. But normally you can follow me over on YouTube. Just search The Gaming Advocate. I do a show on Thursday at 6:45 p.m. Eastern time. That is a opinion-based show. And then on Saturdays, it's a news-based show. No opinions, just the news around video games and entertainment. And that is at 11 a.m. Eastern time. And you can follow me on Twitter at Phantom UFC Fan.
Awesome. And Eddie, thanks for coming on as well. It's always great having you on, man. So where can people find you? And go ahead, sell yourself.
So buy the last game that was coming out on October. It's called Mario Sparkle of Hope on Nintendo Switch. It's exclusive on Nintendo Switch. Please buy that game so I can get some money. And maybe I can put food on the table for the kids on Christmas.
Damn. I already bought it. I bought like 3 copies of it. I got you.
So any content coming soon or still waiting on this?
Well, actually, you guys saw I'm still coughing quite a bit. Once the cough ceases, yes, I'll be making some content, but I cannot promise when because it has been already 29 days, so maybe it's gonna take another, I don't know, 1 or 2 weeks. But yes, content is coming back. I have a setup to show. I have some story to tell about games at Ubisoft, things that I can't tell because of NDA, but there's some stuff I can say.
Nice.
Logo gate and logo wipes. Awesome. Thanks a lot again, guys. Chase, Eddie, it's been great having you on. Maker, where can people find you?
They can find me at CGX or CGX Deck on YouTube. I did want to highlight someone that used to be a Stadia content creator. I know they
Me?
want to no, but they want to do more content, but unfortunately, things within their life. They have a video up about it right now that they posted a couple days ago that caused them to not be able to do any content. So if you guys want to support that, your boy Twiz, I don't know if you remember him.
Oh yeah, I
Yep.
remember your boy.
Awesome
Twiz.
guy.
I like if you can help support him, like even by being a member for a couple dollars. I know he'll appreciate it. And other than that, yeah, that's where you'll find me is CGX.
I never see you on CGX though.
Yeah, I've been on vacation for a week and a half, so you probably haven't seen me.
I didn't
in a while.
authorize this vacation. Unacceptable. You're fired again.
Thanks a lot, Maker. What about you, Ray? Where
Well,
can we find you?
I do have some positive news, guys. There is a bunch of Stadia content creators Friday, Saturday, and Sunday that are going to be streaming for charities like cancer, the Ronald McDonald House. My son has epilepsy, so I'm streaming for the Epilepsy Foundation. So this will be happening during this weekend. I don't know. This probably might be. I don't know if this is going to be the last event. I don't know, but there's going to be $50 Amazon gift cards for each stream that they're going to be giving out that you guys can win, and also donate. I'm trying to raise $100 for and then other people are going to try and raise money for their charity. So I just wanted to put that out.
Oh, charity. Okay. I thought you were about to say you were putting a Kickstarter together.
No. And yes, Amazon $50 gift cards.
Why not Google Play $50 gift cards?
Fuck you, Vet. Can we end the show?
So thanks a lot, everyone, for joining us tonight. The chat was wild. Awesome stuff from all of you guys. Dismal did mention that the Nerf report is live. I do not have the rate capacity because I don't have at least 1,000 subscribers, sadly. But
sad.
if you want to support him, great guy Brian Chappelle is currently alive.
Hey.
So
also, Link TV is live as well. Just throwing that out there, folks.
He is
another great person too. Good person.
And Gaming Source Network is also live. I cannot stress this enough. Everybody's live talking about Stadia's death. It's a sad day.
So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us tonight. It was a great pleasure.
Thank you, Chase. Thank you, Eddie. Much respect and love to you guys. Thank you.
Glad you're safe, Chase.
And also, if you're close to the hurricane trajectory, it's now a tropical storm, I believe.
No, it's upgraded back to a hurricane. They just upgraded it back again.
Really?
Yeah, it crossed back into waters heading towards the Carolinas, but it was officially upgraded to a Category 1, I believe.
So be careful out there. It can get wild with a hurricane around. Stay inside, stay safe. Make sure everyone you know is safe. Once it's all over, call anyone you know who you want to be sure and they're safe. Anyone could be needing help. So stay safe out there. Take care, y'all. Have a very good night.
See you guys. Ethan.